Hello friends, this is Scott, and here's a look back at last year's grape trellis, or what I consider a big massive mess. This is a 5 or a 6 tier trellis, I don't remember, and all it's become is a place for the squash to grow up and hide in the vines, and allows plenty of hiding places for the birds to get in there and eat up all my grapes. So we got to do something about this. I have two types of grapes growing on my trellis, a Thompson seedless variety and a red seedless variety that I don't recall the name of it. Now here's a look at the mess that I filmed a couple weeks ago. I've been holding off on this video as other more timely videos were needing to be done. But as you can see, this grapevine or grapevines are just all over the place. I've got one planted on each of the main poles on the sides, and they're just all over the place. Now, grapes have these little tendrils that grab a hold of everything, and as you can see, they're grabbing all over the place. So it's time to sacrifice this year's harvest and just cut out all these vines and get back to basics. In order to clean up this mess, I'm just going to whack all the growth off these main plants. My trellises are all loose. I've got to tighten up all the wires, and I actually had one wire pull off on my very top trellis. So I just need to get all this stuff out of the way. Removing all these grapevines is a pain as they are attached to everything. So it just takes a little bit of time, and it's not very difficult work. But as you see, I'm speed pruning again, and I'm just pulling everything out of the way. Halfway through this speed pruning, I believe I put on my sunglasses because I think about poking my eye out. Yep, there we go. So this is the red variety on this side. The Thompson seedless are on the left side. But I just go through here and just get rid of everything. Here's a look at the trellising hardware. On this side, you just pull the wire tight, and then you tighten up those bolts. And on the other side, you have a little turnbuckle, which I'll show you here in a minute. But as you see, all these wires are loose. And there's the one that busted off the top, pulled out. So, and as you see here, the top bar is all bent and warped. And that's what's used as a spacer, because as you tighten the wires, you pull the poles together. So you got to have something that keeps them apart. So I've got a little bit of work to do. And there's the part that fell off. And this is the turnbuckle side. As you can see, it loosens and tightens. And so I need to pull the wire tight, have this all the way open, and then I can adjust it by tightening back up and make the wire nice and snug. So here's a look at the carnage after I pruned everything out. So there's quite a bit of stuff here. Now, grapevines are sometimes used in crafts and other things, but this is just a mess. And it fills up a garbage can, and I like to use up everything in my yard that I possibly can and keep it in the yard. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to burn this material. Anyone who's watched my previous videos knows I enjoy a good fire. So here I am just dragging some of the vines that are getting caught on everything. So I'm not trying to take big old handfuls. I'm just trying to make myself feel better because I'm only taking a little bit here. I could probably carry a little more of this, but this is the first load, so we'll see how I do. And I'm just going to cut them up and just into small sections and burn them. So simple, easy peasy. Today's kind of a lazy day for me. I'm just taking my time, enjoying a beautiful spring day. And here's a look at the amount of material that I drug over here to burn. So it takes me, I was out here an hour just cutting up stuff. And I cut up other roses and other plants, dead plants, just to get them all burned up. And I'll use all this material in my chicken yard, as I always put my wood ash in there. Here's another speed look at how fast I can cut up all this material and burn it. Now here's an interesting look at how much moisture is in these seemingly dead grapevines. But they're not dead, they're full of liquid. So as you see, it's all boiling off. Now to be totally honest, this is the makings of what almost burnt down my chicken coop. I burned a lot of material, made a real dense ash, and then when I dumped it in a previous video, you'll if you want to go back and look at that, just look for when I almost burned down my chicken coop. Now here's a look at the grape trellis all pruned out, and you see all the wires drooping, and you see the bent wood on top. So I've got to do another video and show you how I fix all this stuff up, but that's not today's video. Here's a look at the mother grape vine. Now this plant, I can't remember when I planted this and the other, but it's probably 10 years old or plus. Look at all the moisture from the prunings. You see it just running out of here. It's pretty amazing how much moisture grapes hold. I guess it makes sense because grapes are all liquid, but the bark peels off and you start to see some little nubs growing, and then these nubs start to pop out and you start seeing new signs of life. And here's a look at what they look like as the new vines are growing out. And these are what I will pick, which ones I train to the wire, but I've got a couple weeks, but I've got to get on this because before these get too big and start laying on the ground, I've got to get them pruned and get them trellis back. So I've got some work to do once I got some other of the spring planting done. Well, thanks for watching today's great video, and I appreciate you. And if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.